SwimSwam.com, joined by Caeleb Dressel, the man, the myth, the legend. First high school swimmer ever under 19 seconds in that 50 freestyle. And I was hoping I'd be able to talk about that and all the other fast swims that you've had this weekend. Had a little bit of a rough second day here at juniors. I want to get to all of that, but let's go back to the last night first and talk about that 18.94 on the leadoff for the relay. Relief, excitement, surprise. What kind of emotions are going through your head after you saw that split?
Surprise. I didn't believe the scoreboard at all. Actually, looking up at it, couldn't really read the scoreboard. I didn't know I had it until I heard everybody cheering. I was like, well, they're not going to be cheering for a 19, like 19 low, because I heard Jason screaming. He's not going to cheer for a 19-0 or 19-1, so I was like, it's got to be 18. I saw 9-4. I still didn't see the 18 until I got out of the water. But no, I was just in shock. I was like, the scoreboard's wrong. Because, you know, that's something I've wanted for so long. I remember Texas, I think it was 2 years ago, juniors was that. And this is before I broke 20. I was like, Coach, I want to be the first high schooler under 19. And then still seeing it in reality, it's still, you don't believe it. It's ineffable, you know? You can't describe it. You just don't know how to react. So I just stood there staring. I was like, is this real? Is this actually reality? Something that you've dreamed of and worked for? And then finally I look up, I'm like, wow, like that's actually it. It just took me a while to take it in.
Does an 18.9 feel different while you're doing it than the 19.2s that you'd done earlier in the day or the 19.1 that you did after that?
You just gotta want it more mentally, you know?
That's the only difference is mental? You don't have any, there's no feel or anything while you're in that race that feels different, like nailing that turn perfectly?
I mean, there might have been when it was going on, but it's easier to say mentally. You know, you just gotta want it and go after it. I remember Jason telling me, he's like, the only real difference I did in my stroke tonight was just, well, I was more aggressive. He told me to give more tempo, which, hearing that for Caeleb Dressel, it sounds kind of weird, but if you watch the video, it doesn't look like an 18 at all. Like, I was really, really smooth. I was like, is this really my video? So it looks good from what I'm used to be going, where I'm just spinning my arms, but I look good, and I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I had to do. So it was just everything that could have gone right did go right, you know. My turn, I could have been a little bit tighter, but it didn't really matter. I was so happy, but no, I worked those underwaters. It's the same stuff I do in practice. That's why I say it comes down to mentally, because I'm doing that stuff in practice and it paid off. You know, I worked those kicks and then it's off.
Yeah. Great start to the finals last night, followed it up with a 19.1 and then a monster 42 on the ankle leg of that medley relay. Then this morning, things kind of going as normal, and after that 100 fly, had some trouble catching your breath. Tell me when the breathing problems started, when you started noticing stuff.
First day I got here. Let's see. It's definitely the first day I got here. I remember after finals in the 50. Warming down from that 100 free relay, I was like, I'm gonna die. I flipped off the third wall, and it hit me like a rock. You know, even the coaches, the Florida coaches, told my mom, he's like, yeah, he's tightening up, because it's just like it affects you so bad, you know, and you just can't breathe all of a sudden. You're like, oh my gosh. So I got out and I was coughing, doing all this stuff. It took me forever to warm down, so that's when it really hit me bad. But I've been coughing the whole meet, and then all of a sudden today it was really bad. It's gotten worse each day. That's why I was kind of skeptical about swimming when I got back from the hospital. I was like, no, I can conjure up a 50 fly, and we got first place. So I couldn't end it a better way with tonight's finals. But I don't know about that 200 free. I don't want to end up back in the hospital.
No.
So I just gonna lay low a little bit. This has happened before, not to this extent.
So you have had asthmatic type symptoms before?
They tell me I don't have asthma. No one really knows. They put on the paper I hyperventilated due to stress. But I've been to plenty of swim meets. I don't think I'm going to.
You went too fast, Caeleb. No 18 and under swimmer should ever go that fast.
So I was like, okay, I hyperventilated, I guess. But I looked at my mom. I was like, no, I didn't just hyperventilate. I've been to swim meets. I know what I'm doing. And it was after the race. Why would you be stressed after my 100 fly?
Yeah.
It's just confusing and stressful on that part, knowing that I don't know what's wrong.
What's the game plan for tomorrow?
I'm going to be swimming. I'll be fine, you know. I'm just going to rest. I've been drinking water this whole time. After the 50 fly and the relay, I felt pretty good, you know. I was only coughing a little bit, and I warmed down and did my thing. It's just a 50. So, no, I'm excited for tomorrow. The meet's not over yet.
We'll go back and talk a little bit about your fall. You went on a bunch of recruiting trips, obviously #1 recruit in the country, and then it was your last trip that sealed the deal, Florida Gator. What was it about Florida that made it the school for you?
Coaching staff, without a doubt. I can answer that without any doubt in my mind, you know. The only reason I took that trip, because I've taken trips, and every swimmer in there who's a senior has, you get to figure out what you really need and what you don't. So, like, I knew it wasn't going to be a long trip. My parents got to come down there with me. I was like, all I need to do is talk to the coaches. Like, who whoop-de-doo on the facilities, I don't really care how nice they are. So I did see them, and they blew my mind. They're actually a lot nicer than I thought, so that's a plus. But just being able to talk to Coach Troy and Coach Nesty and figuring out the swimmer-coach relationship, and that's what did it. I was like, as soon as I left, going into it, I was like, I could go to school here, but let's see what these guys have to say. And they did it. They said exactly what they needed to say without any bullcrap, and they didn't fluff me or anything, you know. Coach Troy is very straightforward. Some people can take that, some people can't. So I like that about him, you know. I'm not going to be some foofy swimmer that he's going to talk up or whatever. So I just like that about him. Stern and strict, but I liked it.
And maybe fairly or unfairly, a lot of people look at Florida as not necessarily a sprinter's haven, and you being the fastest sprinter in high school history, there's been some people that wondered what went into that decision. Did that come up at all about your sprint training at Florida?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What did you talk to them about?
Well, to Coach Jason?
Yeah, to Coach Troy or Coach Nesty and the type of training that you'd be doing.
I challenged him. I said, I don't want my IM to be thrown away. You know, I also don't want to become a 4 IMer. And he told me, he's like, okay, I'm going to challenge that. And I like that about him. You know, I like a good challenge. So if I say I want to swim IM, he's going to get me to where I want to swim IM without throwing away my 150, 200 freestyle. Yeah. You know, they know what they're doing. I just don't think they've had the opportunity to get a sprinter in. They're not known as a sprint program, I know that. But they're known as a good program. So what's stopping them from making a sprint program? They're good coaches. They're great coaches, you know. I don't see how it can go wrong. They know exactly what they're doing. What's the difference between a 2 IM swimmer and a 50 free? I mean, you can put facts on it, but who really knows? Yeah. You know, so I felt, as soon as I made that decision, I was like, huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
How much does the Olympic tradition there, because they not only win NC2A titles, which they do, but they produce Olympians.
Oh yeah.
How much does that factor in?
Huge factor. That's one thing I noticed. Walking around that campus, you see track people. I can't think of it. Of course, I can't think of it right now because I'm on the spot. But plenty of people wearing USA jackets, USA sweats, all this stuff. And then Coach Troy's talking. I don't know if I can really say this, but how some coaches around there can get on the Olympic team for whatever sport they're coaching. I'm like, this is exactly what I need. I'm not going to win NC2A titles. This is for Rio and on. And that's why everything just went on top of each other, good thing after another, and I was like, this is where I want to go to school. And I know people they don't want me to go there, but this is also my decision.
Totally.
And I know what I want to do, and I know what I need to get done, and those are the coaches that are going to help me get there.
Good for you, man. Congratulations. Hey, congrats on a great start to the meet.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about the rough day today, but
Hey,
best
fine.
of luck finishing out tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caeleb.